How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael S.K., and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 6. Things are getting really interesting and confusing, weird, really just an all-of-the-above situation. We were following Rena in the last episode, and she was talking with Ueshi-san, and I think she told him the majority of the stuff that she found out from Takano-san, and there's a fly in my room. I can see it on top of my monitor, so that's great. But back to the game here. Ueshi revealed to her that she is actually being tracked by the Sunozaki, squad or whatever. It's not the family per se, but it's Kasai. It's Shion's bodyguard. So let's see what's going on here.
Rena-san が家にいない? この時間に?
はい。しばらく家の前で待たせていただきましたが、戻られる。
誰かの家に遊びに行ってるとかじゃない？案外、本家でお姉たちと一緒に部活大会だったりしてね。
Maybe it's Shion that's looking for her? Or it could go back to whenever Rena made that lie to Mion that she had something of Kasai's. Shion was lying down on the sofa picturing her sister and her friends fooling around and playing games like they always did.
一応それを疑って本家にも寄らせていただきましたが、いらっしゃられないようでした。ミオンさんもレナさんがお帰りになられないのを心配しておられました。
そうなの？どうしたんだろうね。はって。
めったにないことだろうとは思いますが、たちの悪いのに絡まれたのかもしれません。念のためレナさんを見かけていないかどうか聞き込ませています。
あの子に限っては大丈夫だと思うけどな。何気に強いしね。
それはそうと、私に何の用だったんです？
Kasai took off his jacket. Shion only told him to see Rena because she heard that Rena had requested to see him in person.
あれ？言わなかったっけ？なんかね、葛西の落とし物を拾ってるらしいよ。お姉が言うには、レナさんそれを直接返したいんだってさ。おうおう、いいね。若い子にモテることで。
堪忍してください。しかし、ご無事だといいのですが。
Right then, the phone rang. That it did. Kasai answered it while loosening his tie.
はい、はい、わかりました。直ちに。
Kasai sounded very serious, and Shion immediately figured out who he was talking to.
誰？お父さん？
はい。レナさんを大至急保護して、本家へ護送せよとの園崎本家からの命令です。
ばあさんの直令？レナさん、何をやらかしたんだか。爪かな。かわいそうに。くわばらくわばら。
Oh yeah, what did she do? You know, given the possibility that that nobody actually knows about the scrapbooks, you gotta really wonder, is there something else that actually might be going on here? You know, besides all the misunderstandings that we're witnessing?
実は聞いた話だと、レナ、自宅を出てどこかに雲隠れしてるらしい。
雲隠れ？どういうことだ？
あと、これはさっき入ってきた情報なんだけど、警察がリュウグウレナの行方を探してるって。
なんだって？
なんでも、レナの家の前にはすでに覆面パトカーが1台張り付いてるらしい。村の中にもすでにサイレンなしのパトカーが数台入り込んでるみたい。あと、君吉本家にも警察から電話があって、リュウグウレナの所在を至急確認したいので、懲戒連絡網で確認をしてほしいと連絡があったって。
ってことは、まさか俺たちの隠した死体が見つかったってことか？
We hid them deep in the mountains. They couldn't have found them that easily.
それは 100% ありえない。私が保証するよ。
おう、よく 100% なんて言い切れるな。
実はね、あの死体、
Oh my
その時家
god.
の方で秘密の場所に処分させてもらったの。
Well, there you have it.
秘密の場所？
まあ、そこは深く考えない。あのね、 私たちが埋めたあの山林、後でよくよく聞いてみたら、今年の夏に大規模な伐採計画があるって分かったの。だからちょっと私の方で手を回させてもらったってわけ。
そっか、お前味方なら頼りになるけど敵だったら怖いやつだな。
おじさんを誰だと思ってるんだか。
じゃあ死体じゃないよな。一体どうして警察がレナを。
わからない。北条哲平と間宮里奈が竜宮家を食い物にしようとしてたって話は裏の界隈ではちょっと知られてたらしいんだよ。そっちの角度からレナが浮上したのかもしれない。とにかく容疑者ってわけじゃないみたい。でも重要参考人とかって扱いではあるだろうね。
どっちだって同じだぜ。くそ、せっかくレナは平穏な生活を取り戻したんだぞ。ここで台無しになんかしてたまるか。ミオ、俺たちでなんとかレナをかばおう。
当然だよ。とにかく警察よりも先にレナの身柄を確保するようさっき沖宮の家に伝えた。本家でならレナを 120% 警察から守れる。
Damn, what is with these percentages?
レナ
They're
を
not
かばうだ
making
けじゃ
sense.
解決にはならないんじゃないのか。レナの嫌疑をなんとかしないと。
そこは保護してから考えるよ。アリバイを証明する証人なんかいくらでも作れるし、本家に出入りしてる最高の弁護士もいる。私たちは仲間を絶対に見捨てない。
ああ、そうさ。絶対にレナを守ってやろうな。くそ、俺ができるのはミオンに頼るだけかよ。情けないぜ。
まあまあ、蛇の道は蛇ってことだよ。おじさんの方で手を尽くすからここは任せな。あと村全体で警察の目をごまかすためアリバイを作る。レナがゴグラのあたりで目撃されたことにしよう。警察の目が広域に散ればそれだけ薄くなるはずだよ。
Ah, smart.
なるほどな。そいつはうまいぜ。
こんなのはダム戦争の頃はお手の物だったよ。絶対にレナをかばいきってみせる。あとケイちゃん、レナはケイちゃんのことは特に信頼してた。だからレナの方からケイちゃんのところに現れる可能性がある。その時にはすぐ保護してあげてほしい。その時は私にもすぐ連絡してね。
お、わかったぜ。
レナは強い子だからね。きっとこんな苦難も乗り越えてみせるよ。
そうだな。
I hesitated to say something. Rena hadn't been her normal self lately. If she was her normal self, I had no doubt that she could overcome this. But Rena is deeply convinced that Takano-san's delusions are true. Rena believes the Sonozaki family is behind the conspiracy. I'm not sure if she trusts the Sonozaki family to protect her.
大丈夫だよ。私とレナだって仲間同士なんだからさ。腹を割って話せばすぐに誤解だって分かってくれるよ。ケイちゃんだって私と話して誤解が解けたんでしょ。よくもまあ、あんなとんでも話を信じたもんだよ。
まあな、我ながらよくあんな話を鵜呑みにしたもんだぜ。前原圭一、多分一生の恥だぜ。やれやれ。
I really was deeply convinced until I talked to Mio. Even after the promise of friendship we made, I doubted her. Takano-san was endowed with magic, and I think the scrapbooks she wrote also carried a spell. The scrapbooks can make people go mad. They're forbidden scrapbooks, nobody was supposed to read them. Rena is captivated by the power of that magic, even after Takano-san's death. I have to wake her up. I've got a very bad feeling about it.
ああ、ごめん、来客だわ。なんだか警察っぽいな。じゃあこれで電話を切るね。
お、わかっ。
レナは今晩以降ゴグラのあたりに潜伏してることになってる。警察に何か聞かれても知りません、会ってませんで通すんだよ。
お、了解。
Mion waited for my answer and then hung up the phone. After she hung up, I slowly started to feel like Rena was being consumed by some huge, unthinkable fate. It's not only the police I'm worried about. I'm also worried because Rena is ensnared by the power of Takano-san's magic. I feel that she might be suffering from incredible anxiety. Oh, right. Rena might be hiding at her secret base in the garbage dump. Rena once told me that she used to spend time there when Rina-san was at her house. And she told me that she hid the scrapbooks there too. If she's hiding there, she must be hungry by now. I should bring her something to eat. I went to the kitchen to look for some junk food. My mother looked confused.
母さんごめん、ちょっと出かけてくるよ。
こんな時間に？ もう遅いからよしなさい。
大切な用事なんだ。すぐ戻るよ。あとそれから、もし俺が留守の間にレナが来るようなことがあったら黙って俺の部屋に通してほしい。それからレナの所在を尋ねる電話が来たら知らないって言って切っちゃって。
Yeah, that's one good ass way to confuse her. My mom looked angry that I was leaving the house at so late an hour, but I rushed out of the house before she could say anything. I grabbed a flashlight from the wall of the garage, got on my bicycle, and sped off into the darkness. The moon looked beautiful, but in a creepy way. I feel like something terrible is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I know it's coming. Something's going to happen. The moon, seemingly knowing just what that something will be, looked like it was laughing at us, pacing back and forth in confusion. Damn it. Laugh all you want. Laugh at this funny story as much as you want. I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to fight. I'm going to smash through whatever fate is waiting for us. Rena, I hope you're there. Maybe my bicycle needs some oil? It was making a lousy noise as I pedaled. Damn it, even my bicycle is laughing at us. So, I just wanted to point out, it's very interesting that we have this, this contradiction, if you will, if that's the right word. From the village, oh, them, that's a tip right there. We have the people in the village that are like, oh, the police are here, you know, they're looking for Rena and all that, and we're searching for her too. But then on the outside looking in, like what we're hearing from Ushi and Shion, it's that the Sonozakis are looking for her and the police are trying to help, if you will. I don't know, it's a very weird way to look at it. It's that perspective. What's going on here? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That is some red text. That is actually just solid red. That is if you went into Photoshop, Paint, or whatever, you selected the default red, or if you went to the color selector, you went all the way to the red in that corner. I finished talking with Ushi on the phone and soon left the phone booth. I realized something and a chill ran through my body. I was in a phone booth that stood out tremendously in the dark. Somebody must have seen me. I was certain I was being watched. I saw glowing eyes staring at me in the dark. It wasn't human. Was it an illusion? No. I knew who they were. They were the ones controlling the three families who ruled Hinamizawa. Its eye level was too low for it to be human, and its outline was vague. I knew from the past records that they were physically frail. The silhouette, which indicated its inhuman appearance, was unbelievably unrealistic. Especially its protruding head. One of the scrapbooks I received from Mio-san described their appearance in detail. Their eyeballs were pure red like blood, and their bodies smelled like ammonia. Even though some of them have at times been captured around the world, all of them melted and disappeared, leaving no trace behind. The only traces remaining are the marks proving their descent to Earth. Right then, the impossible, unrealistic silhouette took a step closer and got closer and closer towards me, making a realistic noise as it crunched across the gravel. The noise pulled me back to reality. It kept walking towards me. It sounded like it was kicking pebbles everywhere as it walked. It was coming closer and closer. I was scared, so I said the same thing once again. And this time, the glass door— what the— god damn it, let me get closer to the fucking part where this banging is happening. The glass door of the phone booth I was just in started to rattle and shake. Bang! It made weird sounds as if being struck by something. I screamed loudly in fear and started running. I ran so hard that it felt like my lungs were about to explode, and then I looked back to find that the thing was no longer chasing after me. Was it my imagination? There's no way it was just my imagination. I definitely heard the sound of the gravel being kicked and the phone booth rattling. But I needed to calm down. Right then, I needed to make my heart stop beating so fast. I'd have to fight them eventually. The next time they appeared, I was going to strike back at them. I was going to squash their heads with my big hatchet. I'd protect Hinamizawa. It was my duty to do so. I wouldn't allow them to do whatever they wanted. I saw the lights flickering in my head again. Wow, Rena's really fucking losing it here. Like, when you're having delusions, it's not just visual. It's all of your senses that could be fucked with. Even if I turned on the light in my hideout, nobody would see it because of the piles of abandoned cars in the way. While I'm aware of that, I decided not to turn it on just in case. It's a bit scary to hide in this quiet place, alone in the dark, holding my breath. I'd have to keep myself busy with something. But my brain won't work properly, and I don't have the energy to think about what to do from now on. However, I don't have the courage to lie down to sleep and regain my strength either. Every time I heard or thought I heard a suspicious sound, I'd gasp and stare into the dark. That's all I did all night. Ueshi believes that the Sonozaki family was behind the conspiracy, but he can't do much without solid evidence. For that, he has to locate the facility where they're doing research on the parasite, but we have no idea where it is. I think the Irie clinic is still the most likely site, but I have no credible evidence. Really, I don't think they do their research in a place so obvious even I could guess it. They might be using one of the bomb shelters that was built during the war as some kind of secret underground research center. It's possible. I can dig that. Now that I come to think about it, I remember a secret building nobody is allowed into on the premises of the Furude Shrine. I think it's called the Ritual Storehouse. Yeah, trust me. There's nothing like that there, Rena. According to Mio-san's research, the Furude Shrine is the center of the local worship of Yashiro-sama. The priest keeps the tools for ceremonies in the Ritual Storehouse. One of the ceremonies is the Bazaar Festival, Watanagashi, and so the shrine storage must be something very sacred. If I remember right, Watanagashi was also a medical ritual designed to vaccinate and immunize. What the fuck? What is wrong with me? I should know this word. Help people against the all too strong parasites. Sorry guys, I'm tired. Well then again, when am I not? That means the tools they used for Watanagashi were medical ones. If my guess is right, the Ritual Storehouse is the most sacred place in the village, as well as the most appropriate building to use for medical purposes. It's suspicious. There might be a secret research center in the Ritual Storehouse. Ah, damn it. The police should be performing a raid on the Ritual Storehouse, not the Irie Clinic. Why didn't I think of that when I was talking with Ueshi on the phone earlier? I hope Ueshi realizes this too. Should I go back to the phone booth and tell him about the Ritual Storehouse? Probably not. Uh-oh. But when I thought about that, I heard a car coming closer and I held my breath. It's not normal for a car to come here this late at night. I thought about many possible scary scenarios, which made me nervous. After a while, I saw the headlights of the car near the former dam construction office. The car must have passed by me and gone to the office. But it's a deserted, empty office building. There's nothing there. It's not a place where people would visit this late at night. While I was staring into the dark, the engine of the car stopped, and its headlights were turned off. I could see 2 flashlights flickering in the darkness. The lights moved into the office building. They must think I'm hiding there. I held my breath and kept watching I kept watch on their movements, sorry. I can't tell who they are, but I bet they're pawns of the Sonozaki family. They know that I ran away from home. They must be looking for me everywhere in the village. Though I needed to conceal my breath, my face started feeling itchy and I had an urge to stretch my legs. My own body infuriated me. The humidity made me sweat all over, so the back of my knees and my neck had been itchy for quite a while. Scratching would make an unbelievably loud noise, so I decided not to scratch anymore. It usually doesn't make any noise when I just scratch some mosquito bites. I'm probably just being nervous and overreacting. There's quite the distance between me and them, and I'm in the dark, holding my breath. They wouldn't notice it even if I sneezed, let alone scratch myself. But I didn't want to make any noise at all, so I tried to forget the itchiness. But after all that, I ended up scratching everywhere like mad. I have to live in hiding like this for a while. I don't know how long I can go on when I'm so nervous on just the first night. I need to toughen up more so I can remain placid, even in a situation like this. I forced myself to relax, scratch my neck without hesitation, and tried to cope with the sticky sweat all over my body. I started getting hungry. My stomach growled. That's a good sign though, since it means I'm starting to relax. I can't eat yet though. It'd make a lot of noise. I decided to wait until they finished looking for me and went away. If that's what they're doing. Go away, go away. I can eat if you go away. It seemed like the intentions I was sending out bore fruit. They had stopped looking around the building. However, I must have concentrated my thoughts too strongly. They were pointing their flashlights in my direction. Did they notice me? No. Not only that, they're walking towards me. I made my body as small as possible, hid under the blanket, and listened to their footsteps as carefully as I could. All the while, I heard their footsteps coming closer and closer. Since the footsteps are coming straight towards me, they must already know where I am, I think. Oh, it's scary. But there's no way they already know where I am. If they did, they wouldn't have wasted their time looking for me around the office building. And they wouldn't walk as slowly as they did. It's just a coincidence that they're walking in this direction. Since I'm hiding under the blanket, I can't see who they are. I don't know where they're shining their flashlights, so I can't stick my head out from the window to see who they are either. I just have to stay motionless like a rock until I sense they're gone. They stopped when they came near my hideout. I could hear their conversation.
いねえだろ。ぐるっと回ってみるが。
Oh shit, they actually are looking for her.
そっちを見てくれ。
I could tell by the sound of their footsteps that they went separate ways, and each of them is walking around the piles of trash separately. I made this hideout out of an abandoned car. I just redecorated it. So on the outside, it still looks like nothing other than an abandoned car. But once you look inside, you can instantly tell it's more than that. So if they look inside, I'm done for. It's obvious that they're looking for me. Are they a Sonozaki corpse attack unit? If they find me, I'd be killed for sure. I know all too well that this place is perfect for murdering people. I killed 2 people here myself. If I can do it, it'll be no problem for them, because they're real professional killers. Even so, there's nothing I can do right now. I just have to pray that they'll leave here soon. At that time, I heard a slight beeping sound.
あつしです。感度良好。はい。
ゴグラ？
はい。了解です。
どうした？
竜宮レナはゴグラらしい。目撃情報があったそうだ。
おいおい、お手上げだぜ。どうするんだよ。
とにかく是が非でも、ひっ捕まえて連れてこいって旦那の命令だ。
Wait, what? Bring her to him?
たとえ行ったのが札幌だろうと博多だろうと追っかけるしかねえだろ。
無理だぜ。見つかるわけねえ。
Unless they're talking about Kasai.
それでも探さなきゃなんねえのか。
旦那は竜宮レナの持つ高野美代のスクラップ帳ってのを欲しがってる。
Well, there we fucking go.
あんだけの剣幕になるんだから相当のもんだろうぜ。
Okay, if this is definitely not Rena's imagination at work here, then it's known. It's probably known, and I think Keiichi's to blame. I think by telling Mion, the Sonozakis know if these people are with the Sonozakis, and if they're not, I don't know. Like, is there another party at work here? Is this the party that we should actually be aware of, like scared of?
で、俺たちはどうするんだよ。
竜宮家前に貼り付けだけ残して、他は引き上げだそうだ。戻って麦茶でも飲もうぜ。
I heard their footsteps going further, and then I didn't hear them anymore. After a while, I heard the engine of their car starting. I finally got out from under the blanket and looked outside the window. The car made a U-turn and drove away. The sound of the engine faded away into the darkness. I heaved a sigh of relief. I scratched at all my itchy mosquito bites, wiped the sticky sweat off my face and neck, and finally allowed myself to cough. I'd heard their conversation clearly. They're the pawns of the Sonozaki corpse, without a doubt. It matches with what Ueshi told me. And they said something very important. They clearly said that they're after the scrapbooks. Up until now, I'd only assumed that they were chasing after me because I had Mio-san's scrapbooks. I could have forced myself to believe that it was just my assumption. But they said it loud and clear. We need to find Rena Ryugu. She has Mio Takano's scrapbooks. That's what they said. They also said that they're keeping watch on my house. I'm not surprised. That's exactly what I would do if I were them. I can't go back to my house anymore. It's out of the question. But in fact, they said something way more important than any of that. They said Rena Ryugu was seen in Gogura. If I was in a normal situation, I'd probably think that somebody saw a look-alike and I'd laugh out loud. But the situation is different now. Mio-san was dead, and she was at the festival. I'm here, but I was in Gogura. Mio-san wrote about it in the scrapbooks, and I didn't want to believe it. They're coming closer to me, and I don't mean the Sonozaki family. Something beyond common sense is about to happen. Should I fight or should I run? I don't even know what I should do. I feel like I'm rooted to the spot with fear. Am I about to be eaten? No. I don't want to be eaten alive. I want to run away if I can't win. If I can't run, I want to fight. I'm going to be happy. I know I am. I'm not going to sit pretty and let them get me. But the enemy, Mio-san, foretold of in the scrapbooks, is coming closer to me. And it's starting to eat me up. I'm in the garbage dump alone. If I disappeared right now without anybody knowing it, the person who was in Gogura would replace me and start living my life. Nobody would notice the change. My father wouldn't notice. My friends wouldn't notice it. It would replace me without having anyone notice it. Wait, many people close to me might have been replaced already. That's right. The Sonozaki family is plotting bioterrorism, but that's only a part of what they are planning. Mice possessed by them don't get scared of cats. As a result, they don't run away. They'll be eaten by the cats, and they can move into the cats' bodies. Mice are only used by them for that purpose. It's not that they lose their fear or cats in order to help them achieve their purpose. Said fear of cats, not or cats. The same thing goes with the Sonozaki family. They think they're doing things by their own will, but they're just helping them without realizing it. That's exactly how they've lived since long ago, being the parasite. We're nothing but a bunch of mice to them. Most mice are stupid. They don't even notice their existence. They help them to achieve their purpose, thinking they're living their lives by their own will. But very rarely a mouse with wits is born. This mouse notices that he's being used, and he also notices their existence. But nobody believes them, so it's not a big deal. He starts thinking that it was his mistake, and he gets swallowed by them. Eventually, he disappears. But even more rarely, a mouse appears from nowhere, notices their existence, and objectively proves it. That mouse was Mio-san. To them, this mouse was a rare and very dangerous existence. And that's why they resorted to unbelievably bold and violent methods to try and eliminate that mouse when it appeared. But surprisingly, we knew about those measures. But the stupid mice don't believe it. They don't notice that they are forcing them to not believe it, and that they're helping them in the end. They killed Mio-san. And they tried to replace her. But they made a mistake. We found the real corpse of Mio-san, and that's why they failed to replace her. Yeah, I don't think that's how it is at all. I think this is more so confirming the fact that there probably aren't body doubles like I thought in Chapter 3 and thought with Takano. I think it really was that she probably faked her death. She's probably still out there. You know, plain and simple. But another thing to consider is that in Chapter 3, everybody probably covered for Keiichi. I think that's how it went down. Everybody covered for him and didn't believe the shit that he was saying. For whatever reason, without his knowledge. They'll try to kill me and replace me too, excuse me. Or they'll replace my friends in order to get close to me. They'll look just like the real people, but they're totally different inside. They're an abnormal existence that's beyond our imagination. I know. They'll appear. No, they're already here. It appeared the day after Mio-san died, and it appeared in Gogura tonight. They'll keep coming. They're openly after me now. They'll keep coming, they'll keep coming. Right then, I heard somebody coming down the slope. I concealed my presence again, and I looked at the direction where the footsteps were coming from. I could see one flashlight. It looked like there was only one person now. Who is it? Is it Keiichi? He said he was, gonna run out here. Who was it this late at night? Its shadow is very small. I can tell it is an adult. I felt a chill running through my body. It shined the flashlight towards my hideout, and its footsteps were coming straight towards me. It's different from the other guys earlier. I can tell by the sound of the footsteps that it knows where I'm hiding here, or that it knows that I'm hiding here for sure. No, it must be just a coincidence. I should just conceal myself again. I can make it through this again. I made it through last time. I need to hide, I need to hide. I pulled the blanket over myself, made myself as small as possible, and kept telling myself that I was a stone. But the footsteps kept coming closer and closer, and it knocked on the door of my hideout. I opened my eyes wide. I broke out in a nervous sweat. Not wanting to believe that the sound I heard was a knock, my mind went completely blank. But it knocked on the door again. I could feel a light shining on the blanket. It might be shining the flashlight on me. But I still held back my fear. As long as I don't move, it can't put a finger on me. I kept telling myself that as if I were casting a spell. I tried not to shake in fear. That's not Keiichi. That is most definitely not Keiichi. It laughed. It had laughed at me because I thought I was still hiding perfectly. But I still tried. Because if I got out of the blanket... Is that Rika? I threw off the blanket and saw the owner of the voice. It's Rika. It's fucking Rika. Alright, what's going on here? It is Rika-chan. Now, why is she here? Why did she come here to see me? I don't understand why she came all the way here alone this late at night. I realized all of a sudden, she looks just like Rika-chan on the outside, but she's not her. It is just copying her appearance. It came to Mio-san, to me, and to Rika-chan. I decided to talk aggressively on purpose in order to work up courage before my fear crushed me down.
Rika-chan, kana?
Well, is it? I don't know. It answers just like Rika-chan I know, or like the Rika-chan I know. But I know it's not Rika-chan. Rika-chan wouldn't come to a place like this so late at night.
わかるよ。リカちゃんじゃないんでしょ。おあいにくだけど、私の目はごまかせないよ。外見がリカちゃんであっても、あんたはリカちゃんじゃない。
I don't know. I'm starting to think that the Rika we know is just playing dumb in a very similar way that Rena has been, right? And that this is her true self.
私の友達のフルでリカじゃない。何者？
Rika looked stunned for a while. She looked as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. But she pretended that for too long. If she really didn't know what I was talking about, she wouldn't be able to stand the silence for this long, but she kept quiet. And she finally showed her true character. It laughed. It laughed at me because I figured out something that was almost impossible to figure out, that it was not Rika.
あんた誰？
It didn't answer my question. It kept laughing for a while. And then it looked straight into my eyes, in a way Rika-chan never did before, and it said this.
私もこの世に生きて長いけど、私をリカじゃないと見破ったやつは初めてよ。あなたは勘がいい人だと初対面から思ってたけど、大したものね。
She clearly spoke to me the things that I was most afraid of. I was completely shocked. It's like she told me everything that could possibly scare me. I didn't want to hear any of this. It's something I can't possibly twist in a way I can comprehend.
でもあえてリカだと名乗っておくわ。私もリカを自分の呼び名だと思ってかなり長いしね。へえ、長いってどれくらいに？大したことはないわ。ほんの100年程度よ。
What the fuck?
はあ？何を言ってんのあんた？
I'm contradicting myself. I know the person who's standing in front of me isn't Rika, but at the same time, I deny its existence. As long as humans hold this kind of emotion, they can never accept unknown existences. In other words, we can never accept them.
怯えなくていいわ。あなたは社内、私は社外。
Yeah, that don't mean nothing.
互いに相手に物騒なことをするのは簡単じゃない。お互いに都合のいい距離だと思うけど、私が何百年生きていようとも、フルでリカは所詮小さな子供だもの。あなたに腕力で勝てると思ってないわ。むしろ逆上したあなたに飛びかかられないか不安なのはこっちの方なんだから。
I realized that this creepy thing that looks just like Rika was only here to talk to me, and I felt my tension fade away a little bit. No, let's keep the tension up a little bit. But still, I don't know what she wants to talk to me about at a place like this, so late at night. I'm like a fish on a cutting board. There's nothing I can do other than to wait and see what's going to happen. I waited for it to make its move for a while, and then it opened its mouth again.
あなたは何かに怯えている。それは正解。
It uses sarcasm. Rika-chan's cute face looked uglier than ever when it smiled. I held back my fear and tried to reply firmly.
ええ、おかげさまで。そう、何に怯えているの？あんたらが一番よくわかっているくせに。
It told me earlier that we were safe from each other because one was in the car and the other was standing outside. But it's obvious that I'm the one who's being driven into a corner. While I'm talking to it, I could be surrounding it by its... What the fuck am I reading? I could be being surrounded by its minions? I'm sorry, that's just throwing me off. I got scared and tried to listen to the sounds of my surroundings carefully. I am an idiot, so sometimes I overthink my sentences here.
私はあなたを助けに来たんだから。助けに？へえ、どうやってかな？あなたはね、ちょっとしたお薬で楽になるのよ。私はその薬を持ってきたと言ったら。薬？
It put its hand in its pocket and took out a small case. It opened the case and showed me what was inside. What was in there made me gasp in surprise. It's the fucking syringe.
注射器。
It's not normal for a person to carry around a syringe. I have no idea what's going on. But what Rika-chan is holding in her hand is a syringe. There's no way I can twist that fact around.
そう。あなたを楽にしてくれる注射よ。楽になれるって？私には分かってる。富武さんを殺した薬物の正体は原子の力を持った寄生虫。かつての奇病を再現させる恐ろしい注射。富武の注射はね。でもこれは違うわよ。
Okay, so 100% confirming that a drug was using on Tomitake. Not that I was, doubting it at this point. It kind of just lines up with everything so far.
本当よ。
it giggled. But that's also showing that Rika is fully aware of what happened to Tomitake. So that's kind of giving us a criminal of some sort here, right? It isn't the giggling that scares me. I'm scared that it admitted the cause of Tomitake's death so easily, and it also admitted the direct cause of the maggot disease that Tomitake-san died from.
私にもあの死に方をさせるつもりなんでしょ。そしてゴグラに現れたレナが私に入れ替わって一件落着。そういう魂胆なんでしょ。誰がそんな注射をするもんか。まあ嫌がるとは思った。明らかに怪しいしね。分かってるじゃないの。ならどうするの？富武さんみたいに集団で襲って無理やり注射でもするの？
Tomitake-san's autopsy report said that he had bruises on his body that proved he was fighting against several people right before he died. That means they must have ganged up on him to give him the shot against his own will.
無理に襲って注射したいけど、あまりうまくいった試しはないわね。だから、無理やりってのはもう諦めてるわ。
What do you mean by it never really works?
だから、あなたの自由意志に任せることにする。ふざけないで！そんな薄気味悪い注射、誰が使うものか！私もそのあたりは悩んだわ。どうなだめすかせば、あなたに注射できるかをね。強引にも無理だし、理解も得られないし。なら結局、私はあなたの判断に任せるほかないってこと。
Don't tell me that this is gonna be where we have to make a choice.
そんなのは聞くまでもない。誰がそんな見えすいた罠にかかるか。まあ、想定通りの反応よ。どうせ期待してなかったし。
It heaved a sigh, made a gesture as if it is mocking me, and smiled bitterly. It looked as if it was trying to say, or that it was saying that I'm a lower animal, and that can't understand that it's being given a chance for salvation. I kind of want to say I'll take the shot on a dare, but I know that's exactly what it is intending to do.
とっとと帰って、お前の仲間に注射には失敗したと伝えるがいい。私は負けない。最後まで徹底的に抗ってやる。そして 1% にも満たないかもしれない勝機をつかんで、必ずや貴様らを打ち滅ぼしてやるから。そう。ならばせいぜい頑張りなさいな。どうせもうすぐ滅ぶ世界だしね。
What do you mean by that?
滅ぶ？あなたには関係のないことよ。井戸の中のカエルが井戸の外なんかに興味を持っても仕方ないでしょ。
At this stage of the game, it said something very dubious. I tried hard to understand what this horrifying creature was trying to say.
私をこれからどうするつもりなの？私はどうもしないわ。好きにすればいい。
It's almost too easy. As far as I know, do whatever you want means ignorance or release when your enemy says it to you. At the very least, it isn't a bad thing. Or does it have another meaning? In that way, I overinterpreted the meaning of the sentence, but then it said it again.
あなたの好きなように過ごせばいい。このリュウグウレナにはもう興味ない。
What?
次のリュウグウレナとうまくやれるようにするわ。
What?
せめて次のリュウグウレナは変に勘が良くないことを祈るだけよ。
I was scared of it. Like I'd be scared of a judge handing down a death sentence.
私も昔は小さなほころびが生じるたびに直そうと奔走したものだけど、途中からね、このひなみざわにもう興味ない。次のひなみざわを探しに行くことにするわ。でもあなたにはこのひなみざわしかない。だからせいぜい頑張って生きなさいな。
It was telling me scary things one after the other. This was obviously a warning of Hinamizawa's destruction. It means the climax is coming soon. They have already prepared another Rena. When I lose to this fate, they are going to replace me with that Rena as if nothing has happened. They're very well organized. What humans are most afraid of is for their lives to lose all value. Your life becomes worthless when you're told that you have a replacement. It's like an indirect death sentence. It closed the syringe case and put it back into its pocket. I turned around and started climbing up the slope. At the top, it looked back and spoke without as much as an evil smile.
じゃあね。さよなら。この竜宮レナ。次の竜宮レナでは仲良くしてね。ほとんどの場合は仲良くできてるんだから。次の竜宮レナなど許すものか。私は私だ。たった一人だ。お前らの思い通りにはならない。絶対に、絶対に。
I wondered if my scream was reaching it. It looked at me coldly. It looked at me as if I was just an image of the past on a TV screen.
たまにはこういう会話も面白いか。
That's quite the laugh. That laughter gradually disappeared into the darkness. It disappeared into the darkness as well. I was the only one left there. I'm forsaken, and they don't care if I disappear. They told me I should struggle as much as I want because it doesn't matter anyway. They already have a replacement. They don't need me in their Hinamizawa anymore because my intuition is too sharp. When I realized that, I noticed that this garbage dump is a perfect grave for me. Then I realized that this place wouldn't work as a hideout anymore. I'd better start packing and move somewhere else. It told me to struggle as much as I want. I'm going to do just that, damn it. Damn it! I have to get ready to move out from here. I'm going to put everything back into my backpack. I have to leave here as soon as possible. The light of the flashlight wasn't enough to see by, so I turned the table lamp on. The light made things show up very clearly. When I reached my backpack, I realized something and gasped in surprise. The palm of my hand was covered with an eerie liquid. I thought I'd wipe off all my sticky sweat earlier, but it wasn't my sweat. Then, where did this blood come from? The fuck is happening? I realized it right away. I was scratching the mosquito bites on my neck earlier, and I scratched them until it bled. When I noticed that, I remember the sensation, the mixture of pain and itchiness. I felt something moving near the wound on my neck, so I scratched it again to get rid of whatever it was. My hand got sticky and wet with blood again. I can't see what the things are because I don't have a mirror, but I know. They're already spreading throughout my entire body, causing the itchiness on my arms and the back of my knees. If I'd never experienced this before, I think I got bitten by a bad bug or something. But unfortunately, I already know what's causing this itchiness.
なんでどうして
I said it with hatred. Why now? Why here? It's the maggot disease without a doubt. If I cut the veins on my arms, the dusky red gross things would flow out. But it's impossible. I didn't get any suspicious shots. But it doesn't have to be a shot. They might have put the drug in my food, and I might have eaten it without noticing. I don't think they put it in the food at my house, but I used to share lunch with my friends at school. They might have put it in the lunches. That Rika who visited me just earlier was shining the flashlight on me, so she knew that I was scratching my neck so hard it bled. Nevertheless, she acted like there was nothing wrong, and she told me that I wouldn't last long. Now I know why she was laughing at me in a sarcastic way. She knew that I wouldn't have much time left. It itches very badly, but I can't scratch. The more I scratch, the itchier it gets. And I'm not going to do the same thing Tomitake-san did. Damn it, damn it, damn it! The itchiness might not be temporary. It might actually get worse. I don't know if it's going to stop soon, or if it's going to last until I die from it. I don't know anything anymore. I just have to endure the itchiness. I wiped the blood on my neck, I wiped the blood on my neck with a towel, clenched my teeth, and tried to erase the desire to scratch my neck. The wound was throbbing. I wanted to scratch it so badly, but I couldn't do that. I fought back the desire, biting the end of the towel. I scratched other parts of my body really hard in order to forget about the itchiness on my neck, but it didn't really work. I just prayed for the itchiness to go away, closed my eyes, and fought back the desire. That seemed to be the best way. I let my mind go blank, breathing hard for a while. I felt like the itchiness got a little bit better. I took a deep breath and I immediately started panicking. Staying here is more dangerous than the itchiness. I have to leave here as soon as possible. I felt it while packing my stuff. I felt the end coming closer, the end that Rika told me about earlier. I assumed I could live until the end, but I might have been wrong. I might follow the same path Tomitake-san took, way before the end comes. I was sweating like crazy, and it felt so nasty. I know it's not sweat, but I'm going to think that it's sweat for now. I wiped my neck with the towel and hurried to leave. So that was very interesting, was it not? I don't know what we could get from that conversation with Rika, but that was a very important one. A very important conversation. Alright, I want to say that we're following Keiichi here. We'll end the episode here, but... Oh man, this music, goddamn. Yeah, we'll end the episode here. But, thinking on what Rika said, I think Rena has the wrong idea about there being body doubles, as I said earlier. I don't think that's the case. Maybe just maybe, it could be the theory that I don't know, did I throw it around near the beginning? I nonchalantly brought up, like, whenever we started these chapters, it's like, okay, this is like another timeline, another jump into all this, because different events are happening, the weather is different, but the events all occur in a similar way. Not exactly the same way, but in a similar way. So, could it be like I don't know, like a Madoka Magica thing? I don't know, the way that Rika was making it sound like is that she has the prior knowledge of the previous renditions that we had gone through, and I say that because she didn't want to actually fight Rena. Because in chapter 5, she fought Shion, and she got her ass handed to her. Remember that? Yeah, so, I don't know. It could be that, but by the way that she was saying it, if you completely ignore all of Rena's bullshit, and you just kind of consider the things that Rika said, it makes it sound like, okay, this chapter is fucked. Like, we're going to go to the similar end that we've always gone to, where everybody dies, especially Keiichi, because, you know, Keiichi being Keiichi. And the village is most likely doomed, meaning she's going to jump to the next chapter. So what is Rika's goal? What is Rika, the real Rika here, trying to do? And how is she doing whatever she's trying to do? I think that's just something that we have to consider in all this, because, you know, I try to think of the realistic approaches to what's occurring here behind the scenes, but we know for a fact that Rika is not that realistic situation. She does have some shit going on that cannot be explained so simply, such as having knowledge of events that are going to occur. And apparently this bullshit that apparently she's lived for more than 100 years or whatever. I don't know. This is getting weird. I guess we'll see what happens in the next one. Thank you all for watching this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy this one as much as I did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. Can't wait to see what happens next. Take it easy, guys.